I'm trying to go live. I'm going to be live. Hello. Hello, hello. Yes, it's working. All right. Hi, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the fact that we were all born free. We were all born free. And then what happens, and then what we can do to make sure that we undo what's in our way of being free again. So the math formula is if you were born free, there's really no reason for you to not be free anymore. However, if you look at a child next to an adult, the child is completely free, and the adult is usually stuck, tense, pretending, and faking. No children preconditioning, meaning, 1, 2, 3 years old, 4 years old, before they go to school, before they're really impacted by how we're asking them to behave. No children are having a mask and pretending to be someone else or trying to be right or trying to be good. Children are just completely free. So you and I and everybody else, we were born free. But then what happens is we're being told to behave a certain way. And so I'm going to ask you to taste this for yourself because you forgot. And it happened a long time ago. But let's close your eyes for a second and take a deep breath in to land here in this moment. So let's land together. Take a deep breath in and just allow yourself to imagine or pretend for a second that you're being born. You're a newborn. You're coming out of your mother's womb, the miracle of life. You're there. You are seeing everything that is new, sensing, breathing, seeing lights, sounds. All your senses are awakening. And then right there, a leash is put around your neck. There's a collar, it's tight, and there's a leash. And every single time you as a newborn are going to try and explore something and feel something and think something of your own, your caregivers are going to pull on that leash. I'm not saying that your caregivers were bad, but we're expanding as a species. And at the time where you were born, your parents thought being afraid wasn't okay, being angry wasn't okay, crying wasn't okay, being, what else is there? Even being too happy wasn't okay, right? Shh, tone it down. When you're at the restaurant and you're all excited, shh, don't be happy. So when you were little, if you were always held on a leash, and ever since you stayed on a leash by being told how to feel, how to think at school, you were sat down and you were told to be quiet, and you were told to learn what you were told rather than what you were interested in, what you had cravings for, what you were curious about. That wasn't important. You were told to sit down, shut up, and do what you're told. You were told to feel what you were told. You were told to think what you were told. You were told to move the way you were told. You weren't allowed to just be and move in class. However, if you look at yourself as a child, if you have any videos, if you look at any videos of any children, children are moving. Children are moving and feeling all the time. And when they feel, they move at the same time, constantly, freely. So they feel something, anger, fear, cry, sadness, whatever it is, it comes and it moves. But what if you have a leash? Go back to that leash sensation. What if every single time that you're feeling something, being curious about something, wanting to go somewhere, you're pulled on that leash? And then you go to school and there's 2 leashes. And you're constantly sat down at your little desk being told what to do, what to think, how to behave, what to feel. You're being compared to your little friends at school. There's competition. You're being asked to obey. You're being programmed. You're held by 2 leashes, your parents and school. Again, not that they're bad. Not that they were bad. I'm not trying to point fingers and say, oh, there's bad people and then there's you, the good one. No, it's not to make you a victim. It's just the state of where we're at in our world. If we're at a place where When you're born perfectly free, you are being held on a leash with every impulse, with every instinct that you have. Everything that comes through you is held back, pulled back by that leash. And that leash hurts. It prevents you from breathing. It's painful. It leaves marks. It's scary, especially if you're little. So that's the analogy that I want to use for today, because that's what did happen. It wasn't with a leash, but it was with emotional authority. So when you were feeling too much, you were given a pacifier to pacify you, a plastic little bit of thing in your mouth. When you were angry, you were told not to be angry. And if you were, your parents would usually get upset themselves, and then it was scary for you because you were little. At school, you were asked to behave. You were asked to be like your mates. You were asked to do what you were told so that you would belong, so that you would be good and do it right. And if not, your worth was taken out of the equation. As if I have to do all these things, and only if I do all these things, like I'm told to do all these things, then I'll be worthy. But you're born innately free and worthy. That's your birthright. That's all you are, is a little bit of life, a little piece of life, miraculous life. It's not even that you have worth or not. It's all you are is worth. It's all you are is what exists, your life. You're a piece of life. And so, of course, when we're programmed to obey, to repress our emotions, our thinking, our movement, our behavior, our learning curiosity, our trust in life, when we're taught, wired, programmed to obey, to repress, to submit, well, inevitably, we have a pretty much tense and squandered and smashed and broken little piece of life inside. Your instinct is held in that leash. And after a day, or two, or a month, or more, every time you feel that leash pull back at you, every time you feel that, what are you going to learn to do? You're going to learn to repress. And then you're going to learn to attack. You're going to learn to bark harder because there's so much frustration. You're going to learn to not go for your impulses because you don't want to feel that strangling anymore. You're going to start to behave. And that behavior, that learned behavior, that's not yours because your behavior is free. Your natural way of being, your naturalness, your beingness is free and unique. There's only one like you. There's only one DNA like you. If you allow life to move through you naturally and freely, you're absolutely unique. There's no competition, whatever level of life we're talking about. But if you're on a leash all your life about, no, don't think that, no, don't feel that, no, don't move like that, no, don't behave like that. If all you have ever had is a leash, well, of course, when you're living your life, when you're with yourself, relating to yourself, when you're relating to others in relationships, friendships, love relationships, when you're working, when you're creating as an artist or as an entrepreneur, this is still there. And there's no amount of positive thinking, manifestation, whatever's out there, that is going to enable you to bypass this. You first have to unleash. You first have to unleash. There is no amount of willpower and positive thinking that will make you feel great when the leash is still pulling backwards. Because you've learned for that leash to pull back so much, the amount of effort that you even put in the things you want is hard work, is conflict, is having to fight. Because you're so used to being strangled all the time that you're not in flow, that you're not able to just be present with who you are, listening to what's there. What's there? What am I feeling? What am I sensing? What am I thinking? You have no way to connect to what's inside of you because you've learned this since the first moment. And this disconnected you from your truth and from your freedom. So you've had to learn to be great at this, to bark louder, to obey, to submit, to not bark louder, to not get hit, to not feel more of that. You've become docile. You've repressed yourself. You have hidden who you are so that you would function well with the leashes of this culture. And again, it's not to say that there's something wrong with this culture, it's just us evolving or expanding. So, yeah, when you're relating to yourself and you feel this self-hatred, or when you're relating to others and you're feeling unworthy, or hoping you would be different, or wishing you were stronger, or looking different, or having more money, of all the external things that people try to sell you everywhere. Well, it's because of this. Because if you were in your true essence, none of those considerations would even cross your mind. When you were little, you weren't trying to be stronger or look different or have more worth. None of those things meant anything because they don't. It's just that you've been plugged in a belief system, in a system that functions with those external things. But you have everything in the first place. You are born as a miracle of a human being. So again, when you're relating to yourself, when you're relating to others, and when you're starting to service and create, whether you're in art, in business, as in sport, wherever you are at, in terms of your creation, wherever you'd like to put your energy, if this is still on, whether someone's pulling or not, but this has been shaping how you relate to the world, to yourself, to others, how you perceive danger, this is still strangling you. And there is no way that you are going to find flow, freedom, pleasure, truth. You are going to feel blocked in your relationships. You are going to feel blocked in terms of the self-love and acceptance and joy and pleasure. You are going to feel blocked creatively, financially, wherever you're showing up in the world, whatever projects you want to pour your energy into. If this is on and you haven't undone the leash, if you haven't unleashed what you have grown into, which is just a mask, confidence, strength, coping mechanisms, trying to be good inside the system, you're not being yourself. When you're being yourself, when you're being natural, when you're being you, it's effortless. It's present. It's still. And even when it's chaotic, it's connected. You're hearing what you, only you in your DNA are sensing. You're hearing truth move through you, and you can be with it freely, just like when you were a child, just like when you were really little, before this started to get too tight. You never thought about being right. You weren't ever playing thinking, am I doing good? Am I doing it right? Are you liking it? No, you were just interested. And you weren't trying to be interesting. You were interested in the moment. You were not trying to be interesting. And that changes the whole game. Whether it's you and yourself in the mirror, am I interested in living my life, or I'm trying to look interesting? Am I trying to be interesting? Whether it's in your relationships, am I actually interested in connecting and having intimacy, in discovering this person? Or am I trying to be interesting to them because I'm hoping they will give me the worth? Because I'm hoping they liking me, if I please them, then I'll be worthy. All of that is bullshit, right? All of that is the school system being lived in your everyday life. And when you're in your endeavors, creative, athletic, business endeavors, whatever it is, it's the same thing. If you're not really being present, you can't be fulfilled. You can't enjoy the moment. You can't find flow. You can't find freedom because you're busy trying to play with all the ingredients that you were taught to play with, that you were forced to play with. I'm going to people please. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to look good. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to make sure that they like me. None of that is present. None of that can give you any satisfaction. None of that can touch anyone. None of that is truth. None of that is freedom. None of that is love. None of that is what you came for. You came to be you, natural, to experience you naturally, without the influence of external authorities on your nervous system. You came here to taste your own experience, not to submit, to obey a program. And so that block that you feel with yourself, with your relationships, with your work, it's not yours. It's that conditioning. It's that system that was forced into your nervous system, and it feels like this. It's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. You were born perfect. You were born divine, godly. You're a miracle. You're a fucking miracle. You are life. No one can even fathom how your eyes and your hands and everything is working. No machine. You're the most divine technology in all the technologies. And you were asked to repress all of it so that you would depend on the things that you can buy. Again, not trying to make people bad and some people good. I don't use those words. But I just want you to be aware of that block that you feel has nothing to do with you. It's just the consequence of your conditioning. It's not something wrong with you. It's not something that you need to improve. It's not something that you need to fix. It's definitely not something that you need to learn from a book or some celebrity whatever, or a mentor or a coach or a guru. No, it's about undoing all of it so that you can go back to who you were when you were born, to who you were meant to be. The beautiful, incredible, magnetic, essential being you were born to be, with yourself, with your relationships, and with the work that you engage your energy in. Creativity, sport, whatever it is. Creativity. If we're going to create something, it has to come from you, right? It can't be, I'm going to be programmed to obey and be like my little colleagues at school, and then I'll become a creator. No, you won't. You won't have access to you. So you'll only be able to do things that are accepted in the system. But they can't give you any joy. They cannot impact anyone. No flow, no love. There's nothing. It's empty. And it's not your fault. So really, really being in touch with, when you feel that block, remember this image. If there was a leash put on you when you were born, and it was pulled every time you had a feeling, every time you had a thought, a curiosity, a desire, a movement, a desire to learn something, a behavior that was yours. If every single time someone pulled, you would stop pulling, or you would bark loud and become crazy. And it wouldn't be crazy. It would only be very valid, right? So if this makes any sense, I just want you to be really in tune with your blocks are actually perfection. They're your body telling you this way doesn't work. I can't fake no more. I can't pretend no more. This is not in flow. This is not alive. You trying to function well like this is not okay. It should feel like a block. It's not your block. It's the consequence of your conditioning. And it's great that it's barking and hurting. It wants you to listen and go, oh, wait. Not this way. No more struggle. No more working hard. No more efforting. This is not the way it's supposed to be. The endless race to get to what the system and the conditioning said would then make you happy. No, that's not the way. Your way is the way, not anyone else's. No external authority, just you. So if this makes sense, this is what we do in our community. We help people undo, and we work in the gift economy, which means that you actually get to choose how much you contribute to work with us. So this is how free we want this community to be, that we meet you without being an authority. We meet you as a space, and we say, you want to undo this conditioning? We provide the safe space and the guidance for you to do it. We meet you where you're at. Some of you guys can contribute more. Some of you guys can contribute less. And if we have each other's back, just like that, we have everything we need. So if this makes sense and you're like, give it to me now, you can type taster in the comments and we'll send you a link. If not, very soon, actually, end of this month, the 29th, I think, we're going to be doing a live taster version for 5 days, every day for an hour. It's called the Acting Revolution. So if you want to wait for a month, look out, and your emails on here will start sharing the event so that you can sign up for it. And again, it's a pay what you can event. And if you don't want to wait a month and you're like, I don't want this leash, I want to undo this leash right now, then type taster in the comments or in the DMs. Send us a DM, type taster, and we will send you the information. We'll chat with you, we'll connect, we'll see where you're at and how we can service you. All right, well, I hope this made sense. Lovely to see you guys, and I'm going to see you next week. All right, bye.